whatever we're doing. Okay, so we're in the pasuk Yud, Perak Aleph pasuk Yud, and that's the beginning. The two pasukim were earlier. So we're the son. We, no matter how old we are, we're the son that's listening to his father. Doesn't mean that Shlomo Melech is the father talking to his son. There's a David speaking to Shlomo, and that's what Shlomo's recording. Or it doesn't really make a difference as far as the Musarim, that there's a father talking and the son is supposed to listen to his father's Musar. There's Musar Avicha, Taras Imecha. The word Musar means restraint, and the father teaches restraint, and the mother instructs. And it doesn't seem to the Torah, or we say the word Torah, the Torah Hashem. This is Torah Simecha. The word Torah means instruction, and do not forsake the instruction of your mother. And that might be, I think the Maharal says, in general, Torah Simecha would mean the Derech Eretz, means the common sense that the Maspun Enoshi, the human consciousness that Hashem put into all of us, and that is also Eloki. That's also God given, the fact that we have a consciousness, but you don't have to have Torah for that. And that is the mothers understand that also. That the mothers understand that there's also a special bina that the mothers have, that women have, and we're supposed to not forsake the Torah Simecha. In some places, Chazal say that Am Yisrael is called Torah Simecha, Knesset Yisrael, the nation, is called Torah Simecha, and we're supposed to do what the nation does, and that will be him. That if the nation, which it also could call it even Drabanans. Drabanans means that Am Yisrael took it upon themselves. Of course, it's going to be the wise people of Am Yisrael. They're the ones who we set up. Am Yisrael sets up the wise people that they should instruct us. But if we're doing it on our own, the Ramchal says at the end, we might get up to there soon in Ma'amar Korim, that there are some issues that it's only because Am Yisrael did it on their own, that they're the ones who initiated it, and Am Yisrael is doing it because we want to do it. But who's we? Of course, you have to have the Chachamim, like any government, that the people are the ones who make the government, and they vote, whether they vote in or they establish the wise amongst them, that they should be the ones who should guide them. So, but they're the ones who are doing it. The nation themselves are the ones who are establishing their governing power, and they want to be governed by the smart people that they have. So that's still called Am Yisrael. It's not called listening to an outside authority. That's called the Rabbanan. The Rabbanan is Am Yisrael. And the takanas that Chachamim made, and also the Menhagim that Am Yisrael made, we're supposed to be listening to that also. That might be on a drash level, on the simple level, it's talking to a son that should listen to his father and mother. They are an accompaniment of charm. The word Livya will be said like Levi. It means any other word, Tofat Levi, accompanying me when someone takes medicine, so they're accompanying effects, whatever the word, I forgot the word, side effects. So that word means the company, to be connected. Levi is called Levi. So it's an accompaniment of charm to your head, and it's a anak for your gagrat, for your throat, which would be like a necklace. It's a charm. When people listen to their father and mother, that's going to be their charm. That's going to be like their ornaments. And now it starts telling the Musar of the father. And the really starts that the father is talking to his son. And the first instruction he tells him is, my son, if sinners, the word chataim means sins, that's when it's a chatafatach, and that's a plural of the word chet. When chet is made plural, you don't say chetaim, you say chataim. That's a chatafasach. But here that has a patach alone, it's the plural of a chata. A chata is like a chote, which means a sinner. So if the sinners seduce you, they try to convince you, they persuade you, al tove, do not agree. The word tove is like to agree, like v'lo avo Hashem olakecha. It doesn't have to do with the word ta'ava. Ta'ava is with a vav. This the shorish is beis, so it means to want. If do not agree, if sinners persuade you, do not agree. So this is a factor that is going. This is the issue. The first issue he wants to tell him is that there are people out there that are trying to persuade you to do evil, and you have to be strong enough not to be persuaded by them. And he gives a whole story here. If they say, come with us, lacha doesn't only mean to go with us. Okay, go with us, come with us. Same idea over here. Like lachun iranana al Hashem. We said today's morning, we had about that in davening. Lachun iranana. We have a consider class in the morning. So the Mepharshim over there said lachun doesn't always mean to go. Here it's not bad. Also, go with us. Okay, we're going someplace. These sinners are a band that are going someplace, and they're inviting this victim over here to come along. If they're going to say, you, my son, if your friends, if your sinners are going to tell you, come with us, let's ambush for blood, and let us hide. The word safun is to hide. So nispana, let us hide, which means to hide as an ambush. To somebody who was innocent, and let's do it for nothing. Chinam. So the word chinam is not the word of these sinners. They don't say they want to ambush somebody who's innocent. But the word chinam means that that it's nothing. It doesn't really deserve to be attacked. That's not the sinner talking. That's the pasuk talking. That they're telling you to the father. The father is talking to his son and saying that those people are going to tell you to go together with them and ambush innocent people. I'm telling you that they're innocent. That's the description of the father saying that those people are innocent, and they're trying to tell you to go to ambush them for blood and to hide to this person who's a chinam, who's a naki. He's innocent, chinam, for nothing. He didn't do anything. And the sinners continue with their persuasion. Pasuk 12. Nivlaim kishol chayim usmimim ki. Let us swallow them up like the grave swallows up alive. Means we're going to ambush them and kill them, like we'll be the grave that's going to swallow them alive. Usmimim ki. And whole people means tzaddikim, like a tzaddik, tamim, a person who's a shalem. So we will swallow up these. Oh, maybe I take it back. I take it back. Tamim means whole, but it doesn't mean like a tzaddik. It doesn't mean like a tzaddik, tamim. It means with all of them together. It might mean, let's say, with all their money, we're gonna swallow them up completely. Completely means everything that they have. Like those who go into the bar, those who go into the grave, we're going to be the grave that's going to open up and swallow them alive with all that they have, which means we'll take all their money. And they continue. This is all quoting, the father is quoting the sinners. Pasuk 13, we're going to find all kind of precious treasures with our ambushing. We're going to fill up our houses with spoils. And one more pasuk about the sinners that they say in their persuasion. Pasuk 14, throw your lot in together with us, and there's going to be one pocket for all of us. We'll split all of the spoils, and it's a very profitable business that we're going to attack innocent people. So this was the father quoting the sinners, and now the father takes over. This is a famous pasuk. It was made famous maybe by a song. My son, do not go in the road with them. Hold back your feet from their pathways. The word nativ. Today they use the word nativ as a lane, but it means a pathway. Different words, synonyms for a path, a derech, and a sib. Different words. Orach. So you have to know the difference between them. But for our purposes, I'm sure the Mepharshim, they go deeper. What's called the derech, what's called the nativ, the Gra, the Malbim, these Mepharshim are very much into the synonyms, what the nuances are. But for the Pashup Shat, the father tells the son, don't go on the road with them and hold back your feet from going their paths. Because their feet are running to do evil, and they go swiftly, they go fast and to spill blood. Because the net is spread out. The word mizarah is to be spread out. The word comes from the word zora. Zora is when winnowing. It's one of the malachas of Shabbos, not zorea, but zora, and that means to winnow. You throw up the mixture of the psolas together with the ochel, and the wind takes away the psolas, and the food falls down, and that's what you want. But the word seems to be talking about can be used as spreading out. That's what it seems to be used in this sense over here. That the net, the reshes is the net. The net is spread out for nothing. Some say that the word mezora is going on the food that's in the net. Means there's a net that has some kind of a bait. The bait is the food, whatever. It doesn't say the word food over here, but that's the point, that the birds, let's say the end of the pasuk, Beinekol Balkanov, in the eyes of all of the winged creatures, which means the birds. The birds, they see food. and they want to get the food. They don't think that the net has any purpose. Chinam mizarah hareshes be'enei kol bal kanav. They don't think that the net is going to affect them in any way, or that the food that's inside of the net is available for free for them also. The point is to say that they don't think they're going to get caught. Vehem l'damam yerovu yispenu lenafshosam, but really them. So they have to, in the pshat, you have to figure out who's the them. They're really ambushing for their blood, and they're hiding for their lives. So it has the same words as before. We had before in Pasuk 11, Pasuk Yudalef over there said Nerva and Nispana, the same word Nerva Ladam and Yispanu, right? Nispana. So the same words over again. So the Pasuk the way Mepharshim explained is that it's a play on words. Before I was talking about that's what the sinners say. The sinners say they want to ambush and they want to kill. Ner Adam, this but here the pasuk Yitches is talking about the ones who are set the traps, that the ones who are trying to catch these birds. So the mashal is that the bird thinks that it can get the food without getting caught, but the ones who set the traps are really ambushing for their blood, and they are hiding in order to get their lives. So it means that the people who steal these sinners, they're going to get caught eventually. The Musar of this father seems to be telling his son, don't go together with the sinners who have all kinds of plans of making a lot of money by killing people and attacking, ambushing, and they think they're going to get away with it. At the end, they're going to be trapped. They're going to be the ones that are going to get killed, and they don't think that the trap is going to affect them in any way, but really it is. So it comes out that the pasuk that talks about the ambushing, the ner v'ladam and the nitzpana is used twice. First, it's talked about by the sinners themselves that they want to ambush people and kill them and take their money, and here it's talking about the ambushing of those that are setting traps in order to catch them. And these robbers should realize that they're eventually going to be caught, and their blood is going to be the one that's going to be ambushed. One more pasuk for this series, pasuk 11 and 19. Kain karchos kol archos kol botzei abotza es nefesh ba'alav yikach. This is the pathway. Here's the word orach. We had before already derech and a tiv. Here's another word or as a path, like a chasas orchim, to bring in the wayfarers. The word orach means somebody on the path. But this is not figurative. This is the pathway of all of those who try to get money. The word betza sometimes means regular money profit, but sometimes it means illegal profit. That's how it's used a lot of times. So it means that's stealing. So this is the path of all the robbers. As nefesh b'alav yikach, it takes the life of its owner. It means that the ganavim are eventually going to die. That they don't realize that it's on they're doing it. They're sacrificing their lives for it. So this is one mussar that the father says, my son, don't be influenced by bad. Doesn't say the word friends over here at all, but that's probably the idea. They're trying to convince him to come to be part of their band and let us go and make money, and we'll split it all together. So the father says, don't go together with them, hold back your feet. They're going for evil and they're going to kill, even though that's what they seem to say also. Ner v'ladam. It wasn't like a chiddush. It says, Ner v'ladam, this chinam. He also says the same thing. The musar is that they're going to kill, and they think that they're not going to be caught. You should know they're going to be caught. At the end, the crime doesn't pay, so to speak, in the way the English goes. At the end, they're going to be caught. Every sinner thinks he's not going to be caught at the end, and the musar is that there is going to be caught. Realize that it's going to be caught. That the question might be: every criminal, every sinner, does he have to convince himself that he's not going to be caught at the end? If he would know the punishment that's going to come, would he still sin? Anybody wants to say any opinion about that? Any criminal, you could talk about a regular criminal or any kind of a sin. The people only sin because they think they're not going to get caught. That's how they're talking to themselves. If they would know for sure they're going to get caught, they wouldn't have done it. I would imagine so. Imagine if anybody would know they're going to get caught, they wouldn't have gotten into it. They always hope for the chance that they're not going to get outsmarted, whatever. But if they know for sure they're going to get caught, then they wouldn't. It could be that there's a mechanism in people that they don't want to think, So therefore, they turn off. They say there are all kinds of ways, litzonis and other kinds of ways of turning off the thinking process that they don't figure out that they're eventually going to have to pay for any crime that they did. But theoretically, if they would know that they're going to get caught, the pashtus l'chara is that they wouldn't have done it. So here, the father is telling the son they are going to get caught. Everyone should know that the sinner at the end is going to be punished either in this world or that doesn't go. The marshal is just talking about this world, that there's a net that's set up, a trap, and the sinners are going to be caught in the trap. If anybody wants to say anything about this one issue, now is a good time, and then starts another subject. If everything's good, we go on. Pasuk Chaf seems to be another subject. Welcome, Shlomi. Welcome on. Chachmos b'chutz tarona b'chavos titinkola. So here, wisdom is calling out. Wisdom is talking. Chachmos, wisdoms. I don't think it means wise ladies. It doesn't say chachamos, it says chachmos. Chachmos means wisdoms. Wisdoms are shouting out in the marketplace. The word chutz means outside, but sometimes it also means the markets. Many places that the word chutz means the market. Chutzos. The chutzos means the markets. So like it says right here, rechovos. Rechovos is called streets, and nowadays it's called streets. Really, the word rechava would mean more like a square, like by Haman and the rechova here. The word merchav means like a wide space. That's what they call here in the old city. Let's say the rechava. It means a town square. The word of a wide space. It came to mean the word streets. Now rechov, whatever. The rechov is not so big, but that's what probably the word literally probably means a area, like a wide area, what they call a rechava. So the wisdoms are calling out in the marketplaces. Baruch Havosti gives its voice out in the town square. What's she calling? We don't know yet. Berosh Homios Tikra, B'Fiskei Shorim Bo'ir, Amorea Tomar. In the what would we say Berosh? Homios means like a tumultuous place. What would the word Rosh? What Rosh Homios Tikra? What would the word Rosh mean? See if I can get just a good word for a translation.
Homios Rebbe said was the busy places.
And the Rosh, what does the Rosh mean? Well, how are we going to translate the word Rosh?
And what's homios?
Homios is a question of commotion, tumulting, right? A place where there's a lot of noise. Homia, Russian of noise. But that's the nice word for the Rosh.
It really means like
We can get a really
the center of wherever the commotion is. Meaning the commotion is usually
that's like the main commotion kind of place. The head of noisy throngs. Okay, says it like the head. And the head of the noisy commotion, a lot of movement over there. So it calls out. It goes out. So the wisdom is going to the streets, to the busy places, to the entrances of the gates of the city. She says her words. So it's uh, personifying wisdom. That is, if wisdom is a personality that's coming and calling out. And what does she say? So the rest of the parak is going to be her words. From 22 until 33, all that's going to be wisdom talking. So wisdom is crying out. We're supposed to be listening to the words of the wisdom. This also is probably the father telling the son that this is what the wisdom calls out. So listen to the words of wisdom. And here it goes. Ad Mosai Pesayim Ta'avu Pesi. That's where the big stop in the pasuk is. Look at that one pasuk that has Pesayim and Leitzim and Ksilim. So we had Pesayim and Ksilim. We didn't have Ksil yet, if I remember correctly. We had just the word of a fool. We had a Pesi and we had a Vil that we had in pasuk Dalet and pasuk Zion. And here's the third one where we mentioned out. He's mentioned Ksil. So we'll put them all together soon. but it's also in general a fool. So till when, you Pesayim, will you love foolishness? I'll translate this as loosely as fool. Till when, fools, will you love foolishness? And you mockers, will you desire mockery? Leitzim is the people, the Leitzim is the mockers, and Latzon is mockery, and Chomad is the desire. So the word Admosai goes down all three of them. Till when are you fools going to love foolishness, and you mockers are going to desire mockery? Uchsilim yisnu das. Until when, Admosai, are you fools going to hate knowledge? And she's calling to the Psoim and the Leitzim and the Ksilim. That's what she's calling out to, and she's saying, Admosai, till when are you going to go on with your foolishness? We said a pshat last time about a Pesi, and maybe a Vil, here goes a Ksil also. So the Pesi, we said, is they're all fools, but they have different shorish of their foolishness. The Pesi is gullible, like Mifateh, mamish the word Pesi, and it means all these people are very smart. It means into the high Q, they're not the high Q. They're very smart. That he said that all these fools, they have a very high IQ. That's not their issue. If someone's really a fool because he has a low IQ, then no one's not telling them any mussar. They're fine. Everything's good. I'll call Baseda. We're talking about somebody who has a high intellect, but he has other issues that are making him stupid. And one is a Pesi, one is a Kisil. There's also a Lates over here. And there's, we'll talk about the Sanas also. And there's also the Evil, which was mentioned earlier. So let's talk about the fools. We'll come back to the Lates in a minute. But the fool, there's a Pesi, a Vil, and a Kisil. So the Pashup shot in the word means that he's very gullible and he's easily persuaded, and that's his problem. His problem is that he's easily persuaded. He doesn't have the wisdom of how to stand up, the strength or the wisdom to be able to stand up against a persuasion. So he's taken it by that. So and they seems that they love it. They love to be they love to be persuaded. It rings a bell about the issue about all kinds of advertisements. That the advertisements sometimes are really nonsense, right? Like everybody knows, you don't have to think very much. Know that we said last time the lion and the car don't do with each other. You're not buying the lion, whatever they have over there, together with the car. As everybody knows, they don't have to say. But whatever they put into the advertisement has nothing to do with the product. But people, they're gullible, and it's not because they can't figure it out, but they want to be persuaded. There's also a part they talk about that the price is just 999, just 99,999. So how smart do you have to be that you're talking about? You're not talking about 99. You're talking about 100. But so you might call it Gnevis Das on the part of the seller. It's not. It's the buyer. The buyer wants him to say 99. The buyer doesn't want it. The buyer wants it. The seller also maybe, but it's not a time on the seller as much as the buyer. The buyer wants to be fooled. He wants to be able to be persuaded. He wants to be able to be seduced. He lets himself be seduced. That's what the person mashma a little bit, that you love sayus, you love the foolishness. We're not talking about somebody that his IQ is low. There's nothing about loving foolishness then. But this person, he loves foolishness. He wants to be persuaded. He wants to be seduced. He wants to be convinced. We said that evil, the shorish of evil is like from the word taiva, which means desire. So he's also intellectually is okay. He has a high IQ. He can figure it out. But he has some kind of physical desire, a ta'ava, and that's why it covers up on his intellect. And that's his foolishness. The source of his foolishness is because of his desires. And here the word ksil is a third kind of a fool. And you find places in the Tanakh that the word kesel means bitachon. It means confidence. And it can be used in a good way. It's supposed to have confidence in Hashem. But people have too much self-confidence. And that's the source of their foolishness. So it comes out, according to this pshat, there are three kinds of fools. Depends what the shorish is. One is going to be because he's easily easily persuaded. One is because he is his desires outweigh his seichel. And the ksil is somebody who's overconfident. Here it says that there's also leitzim over here. The ksil misnu das, they hate knowledge. They don't want the knowledge. They don't want to be able to learn the das. They want to go with what they think. The ksilim, they go with what they think, and they don't want to learn knowledge. Leitzim is mockers. So I'm getting this from the Mesilas Yesharim. The Mesilas Yesharim says that leitzanis is a shield that people have in order to protect themselves from any kind of a rationale that will tell them to do something that they don't want to do. And it's a shield. He talks over there about schok and latzon, And litzanis is a tool that people use in order not to have to stand up to any kind of a musar or a lesson that they should realize, and they don't want to listen to it, so they react to some kind of a litzanis, which he says over there is like a mogin mashuach bashemen. In the olden days, maybe today there are similar things, whatever the nimshal would be, the marshal today would be, but they use a shield that the arrows that shoot the come on should be slide off, and that's the marshal for it's honest that it's a shield against any kind of musa. Sometimes people give musa, other people give musa, or sometimes a person himself, his Yetzer Tov, there's something that arouses, or some kind of incident that arouses him that he should take things to heart. But the Lasanis is like a shield that protects his heart from being affected by any kind of musa. Here, the arrows will be good arrows, arrows of musa and Yerushalayim, but he has a shield that protects his heart that he shouldn't be aroused, and that is Latsanis. So Latsanis is usually a joke. It doesn't have to be. Rabbi Miller says Latsanis, he talks about it, that Latsanis doesn't have to be dafka funny, but usually that's the tool that people use in order to uh, get rid of some kind of a musa, that serious thought. He says it's the opposite of Zirus over there. Zirus means serious thought. And Latsanis is the opposite. Skoki talks about is the general attitude, the state of being that he's not all there. He's in a different planet. He's into his entertainment world in order to escape real thought. But the tzanis is a tool that is using a targeted shield in order to protect himself from some kind of a musa that he'd have to answer to. He'd have to answer himself to. There's a possibility that nowadays people don't have to have litzana so much. Nowadays, people today, they have a new method that they just say, I have no koch. That's and I tell them some kind of a rationale. He says, Ainli koch. At least the younger generation in Hebrew, that's what they say, Ainli koch. It's also kind of a litzanis. Doesn't make any telling him, this is dangerous. What is Ainli koch? And he goes on. What does Ainli koch mean? It says it's a litzanis, but it's without the joke. You don't need a joke anymore. Just say Ainli koch, and that's all. He's not answering, and I had a marshal, not a marshal, a dugma, an example of this. Not a marshal, an example, which I think it shows something. Let's say there's somebody that gets up late every day for Kriya Shema. Every day he gets up late for Kriya Shema, misses Kriya Shema every day. And he knows this because whatever, he goes to sleep very late, whatever it is. He feels bad. He feels bad he misses Kriya Shema, but the mice he misses Kriya Shema every day. So you come over to this person and you tell him, tomorrow, I'm giving you 100 shekels, you shouldn't say Kriya Shema. Most of the Bachim will say no. Then you tell him 500 shekels. 500 shekels not to say Kriya Shema tomorrow. He won't take it. And the average good Bachar, I'm talking about a regular Bachar. I'm not talking about a tzaddik. I'm talking about a regular Bachar that sleeps late every day. You tell him tomorrow 1,000 shekels for not saying Kriya Shema. He won't do it. I think he can go much higher also. I wouldn't be surprised if he could get even, I would think, very, very, very much more. That each person according to his darga, but maybe there's a breaking point or something, but very far, very high. I wouldn't even be surprised if we have a million shekels, he wouldn't take it either. So now the question is, you tell this Bachar, you didn't say Kriya Shema for the past 2 months, and you're probably not going to say it tomorrow either. So what's the issue? The issue is that when he's thinking rationally, he has the Yerush mind. He's not going to say, I'm not going to say Kriya Shema tomorrow. But then you tell him, don't you realize you go to sleep 2 o'clock and you're not going to say Kriya Shema tomorrow? So then he has Ainli koch. I don't want to think. He's not thinking. It means he can't stand up to thinking. If he would think, he would make the cheshbon. He would not be able to stand up against it. He have to go to sleep early. He's not ready to go to sleep early, so he turns it off. When you push him into the corner to make him think, he has Yerushalayim, but that's a tool that the Yetzer Hara uses that he shouldn't think. So either it's Litzanis or it's Ainli koch, whatever it is. But that's a kind of a shield to protect himself from serious thought. Maybe what I said is a chiddush, that the modern Litzanis doesn't have to come with a joke. He does say Ainli koch. But in essence, I think it's coming to the same result as that Litzanis accomplished. So wisdom is calling out to the Psayim, the Leitzim, and the Ksilim, and it's saying, come. Pasuk 23, Chav Gimel. Toshuvu l'sochachti. Come, return to my tochacha. Tochacha is when you prove something, and this Musa tochacha, so I'm proving something. So come back, listen to my tochacha. I'm going to express my spirit to you. The word abiyah is to express. Odia devarai eschem. I'm going to inform my words to you. I'm going to I'm going to teach you. Come listen to my wisdom. Listen to me. My wisdom is talking, and come back to the Musa that I'm saying, and I'm going to let you know my words. Pasuk 24. Yan Karasi Batamain. Now they don't listen. Right here, in between the psukim, you see that they didn't get, she didn't get any response. She's calling out to the psayim, the leitzim, and the ksilim. Nobody's coming. So she says, it's not good. Yan Karasi Batamainu, because I called out and you refused. Natisi Yadi Ve'ein Makshib. I waved my hand. I stretched out my hand, and nobody was listening. But Tifru'u Kalat Sasi. And you nullified all of my counsel, and you don't want the word again abisa. We had it before about what do we have over there? Al tovei in pasuk yud we had about not wanting. So the word tovei means to want. So here tochachti lo abisem. You don't want my tochacha. Tochacha again means when I prove to you something. I prove to you something is right, something is wrong. You don't want my tochacha. So therefore gamani beitchem eschak. So I'm also going to laugh at your catastrophe. The word aid, Aleph Yud Dalet, means a catastrophe. Maybe there's a better word than a catastrophe, but that's the idea. 26, let's see if he has any better word over here. Misfortune. So what does it mean that wisdom is going to laugh at the misfortune? Again, wisdom is not a personality, it's not a person. But the wisdom, is, so to speak, is laughing. That means that when the person, because of the wisdom was offering Eitzah. But the same way, if it will be a person that was giving an Eitzah and you don't listen, so then when he sees the downfall, he laughs and he says, I told you this is going to happen, and you don't listen. But there's probably something to learn about the laughter over here. But laughter is going, the wisdom is going to laugh at the downfall of the fool that was foolish enough not to listen. And I'm going to mock Elad b'vo pachtechem. When the fear that comes upon you, mock when your dread arrives. Because it says that dread, the pachad, the thing that they were fearing. When that's going to happen, so then the wisdom is going to be laughing. So it seems to be continue. It repeats and continues. It says it in a different order. So the Pachtechem is mentioned again, like it was in 20 Chavab, also in Chav Zayin. Pachtechem and Eidechem, the word Eid and Pachad, both of them are repeated over here, different order. Here it says the Pachad and then the Eid. Here it says when your Pachad is going to come like a Shoah. A Shoah, now we can famous word for the Holocaust, but the Shoah is also like a catastrophe of some sort. And the exact translation of each word I can't say, but we got the general idea. Aid, the Shoah, all of them are the similar thing. When your dread is going to come like a Shoah, like a catastrophe, and your misfortune is going to come like a Sufa. A Sufa is a storm wind. Now here in Israel they call it a Sufa. About the weather forecast, talk about a sufa. So the word says usually Aramaic, like asa, aleph, saf, aleph means to come. It's like tavo. Here it's a chiddush that it's used in the Hebrew. It's usually an Aramaic word. So when your pachad is going to come like a shoah, when your aid is going to come like a sufa, and when you're it's going to come upon you with trouble and a distress. So I'm going to be laughing. Eschak and Elad. I'm going to laugh and I'm going to mock. And then you're going to call me. Then you're going to call me. Then after the trouble comes, now tell me before it happens, but you're not listening. And it's going to happen upon you a misfortune. Then you're going to come to go to wisdom. You're going to want to go to wisdom. So we have to always translate the idea that's being said. Then they're going to want to get wisdom. They're going to want to use wisdom in order to get out of their troubles. They're going to call out, but below and I'm not going to answer that. They're going to try to seek me. The word to be mishacher means to seek. It sounds similar to the word shachar, which means the morning. I'm not sure. Some say pshat, why the morning is called shachar. People are waiting for it in the middle of the night. But if it's the same word or a different word, a related word, but it means to seek. Nowadays they call shochari musa. When it gives advertisement about a new musa sefer, shochari musa, or chassidish sefer, shochari chassidus. It means the ones that are seeking it. So they're going to seek me and they're not going to find me. Means the wisdom is not going to help. Sometimes it's too late and the wisdom is not going to be able to help you anymore. Either doesn't want to help you. That's what I one word, but we're not talking about that the wisdom is a real person. but it means that the wisdom is you're not going to be able to get it. You're not going to be able to. The wisdom is going to. You can't if you don't use it at the right time. It isn't always available to be able to fix the problems anymore. So I don't know if you could be medayik that the wisdom doesn't answer or they can't find it, but that's the point that the wisdom is not always available to change things. Once a person fell in, he didn't listen to the eights in the beginning. Pasuk 29, Tachas kisanu das because they hated knowledge. That goes back to Pasuk Chav Beis, Uchsilim Yisnu das, because they hated das. They didn't want the das. They didn't want to know. They didn't choose Yiras Hashem, and therefore they didn't listen to Chachmos. They didn't want my counsel, my Eitzah. Again, the word avu means to want. The third time we had it already. They scorn. The word menaitz is to scorn all of my tochacha. Again, the word tochacha means when you, of course, it means rebuke, but it means when you rebuke somebody and you show them why it's wrong. And they scorned all of my proofs and all of my musarim. The word not vayochlu, it's not the past viyochlu. They're going to eat the fruits of their ways. Means they're going to have to how do you say? They're going to have to sleep in the bed that they made or eat the cake that they made. Whatever the marshal in English is. They're going to eat. They're going to have to suffer the consequences. They're going to eat the fruit of their way. Their way is not to go with Chachma. So they're going to suffer the consequences. And they're going to be satiated from their counsels. Lamed Beis. Ki mishuvas pisayim targem. Both of the two kinds of fools, 2 out of the 3 that we had. And the word Meshuva, two pshatim over here. Some say that it means the menucha, like Meshuva Banachas Livashayu, and the word Shuva sometimes means their menucha. So the menucha of the fools is going to kill them. Some say that the word Meshuvas has to do with Shovav, which is the waywardness. So two pshatim about the word might mean over here. Either the waywardness or the how would you say repast, the fooling, the resting of the fool is going to kill them. And the tranquility of the fools is going to destroy them. But the one who listens to me, the wisdom is talking. The whole thing is the wisdom. The wisdom is talking out. The one who listens to me is going to dwell securely and is going to be Sha'anan. Sha'anan is also kind of tranquility. Mipachad Ruah is going to be tranquil from a fear, evil fear. Pachad Ruah. So we're supposed to listen to the wisdoms. So we spoke about last week what does wisdom mean? Does it mean the Torah? And some say yes, some say it means the Torah, but it could very well mean there's a wisdom that's called besides the Torah. We brought the Gemara in Megillah that talks about Moshe Rabbeinu's Av Chochma, Av Torah. So not necessarily is the word Chochma always mean Torah, and here it does talk about Torah sometimes, I think. So it might be easier pshat to say that Chochmos doesn't mean that. Either Chochmos means the Chochma that a person has on his own that he can figure out, or after Torah, say he gets wisdom that he get, but not after what the Torah says, but he becomes wise. And there might be also what do we say? What are the 2 choices we said so far? That's could be the Derech Eretz wisdom, the wisdom that a person can figure out on his own from his own matzpun. That might be Chachma. Before we spoke about Torah Simecha, didn't say the word Chachma over there. I'm not saying that for Gafka. I'm just pointing out that the one who's speaking in all this is called Chachmos, wisdoms. So you have to figure out what does the word Chachmos mean. Does it only mean Torah? Well, it means other kinds of wisdoms also that a person can figure out. The point being that a person has to think. I think that here a person should know that there's a way to think in order to figure out things. And if you listen, you're going to have tranquility and you'll avoid a lot of terrible things. Pachadra. But a person that doesn't, for whatever reason, because he's a pessi, because he's a late, because he's a ksil, so he doesn't listen to wisdom. He doesn't want to listen to wisdom. Yisnu das. And therefore they don't think. I think it's a big lesson on any level that a person is supposed to try to get wisdom and not to just leave it up to his merry way, because then he's gonna fall. You have to listen to wisdom, either your own wisdom or other people's wisdom that you know that are smart, and not just go according to his foolishness or his litzanis, and then not to think. People close off their thinking mechanism, and that's they get to the wrong places. Also, a big lesson over here: sometimes it's too late. That it's not always at any time I can pick it up and I'll fix up all my mistakes. Not always true. Here it says that that sometimes they're not able to find the wisdom anymore. You have to get it at the right time. Anybody on this subject or any related subjects? Or unrelated subjects, also like Rabbi Miller does, that time for questions on any issue. We're not going to just be on Mishlei. We have a couple of minutes each week. So if anybody wants to talk about anything else, also, it's a good time.
Yeah, Malav and Malka, should it be done right after Shabbos, or is it perfectly fine if it's done at 12 o'clock at night?
Right. So lachatchila should be earlier. Lachatchila should be that. Lachatchila, that's say perfectly right. It is good. It's still Yotze at night. Some say till Chatzos. Mishnah brings down, I think, that lachatchila before Chatzos. But surely the earlier the better. Like Malav and Malka, like you're being Malav Shabbos. It's escorting Shabbos. Agav, I think the word Malka, I think is with Aleph at the end, which means king. It doesn't mean the Malka, doesn't mean the queen. That's what Rashi says it from Malav Esamelech. And it's a covered Shabbos to escort Shabbos. Doesn't, Lachatchili has to do it as soon as possible, but he still yells even later. And they say maybe Chatzos is like maybe a breaking line. If someone didn't need it by Chatzos, probably also still continue. But the Pashas is soon after Shabbos. Is covered Shabbos coming in, covered Shabbos during, covered Shabbos after. And just to mention what Shabbos is the Achesh Absos HaTishmoru, Keosi Ben Yov V'nechem, Ludaskin L'Shem B'Kadishchem. Hashem is B'Kadish us in this world, in the world to come. It's Kezechel Elf Hashvi, which is the Olam Haba. But also in this world, the Shabbos is more Kedusha. Hashem gives us more Kedusha if we feel it or not, which also comes up a lot of questions. If we feel it or not, even if you don't feel it, there's more Kedusha on Shabbos. We're more connected. And we're the Oneg Shabbos, all these things about eating and drinking and festivities, all that is the covet and the oneg, which shows that we're happy about this kedusha that Hashem gave us. The Ramchal says 2 points, which I don't. It's very chiddush how he points it out. That one is the covet, the kedusha that Hashem is giving us, and the covet, the one who gave it to us. Means that we're looking at 2 things. That of course it's all Hashem, but it's one is the connection to Hashem and the honor and the delight that we have this extra connection to Hashem, and in honor of Hashem who made us connected to Him. So that's the issue of covet and Onyx Shabbos. Another point, just once you mentioned it already, is that let's say before Shabbos that you're getting ready for Shabbos, it's not just the Hechsher mitzvah. The Ramchal in Mesilas Yesharim says it isn't just the Hechsher mitzvah that in order that should be food on Shabbos, that should be a covered on Shabbos. Preparing for Shabbos before Shabbos is a covered Shabbos. It's a covered to prepare. Even the preparation is like somebody when a chashva person is coming, like Abami Abbasi over there says that they would prepare. So that's a covet. It's a covet. That's why it says that the person should do it himself. You don't find by Hechsher mitzvah that dafka mitzvah bo yosef b'shluch on the Hechsher mitzvah. If the point would only be the covet Shabbos, which happens on Shabbos, but you have to have it. If nobody else can do it, it's not going to be there. So then it's only Hechsher mitzvah, and it doesn't say dafka mitzvah bo yosef b'shluch on Hechsher mitzvah. But on here, by covet Shabbos, it is. It's like Shabbos is a personality. That Shabbos is coming, and you're getting ready for that personality to come. That great thing that's coming. The kedusha of Shabbos is coming. And the preparation you're doing on Erev Shabbos, it itself is your Chabad Shabbos already on Erev Shabbos. Yashikoach, everybody. Yes, please.
Now, on the ending of Kavod Shabbos, how what's too extreme? Stam on Kavod Shabbos and food, for example. What would become example? There's places they have kiddushes on Shabbos that are so. What is the level we're supposed to go to Kavod Shabbos? And more than that,
so I think. Right. So I think that if people, I have a mashal, 2 mashal, both of them, whatever one speaks to you, a picture frame has to be in proportion to the picture. Someone's gonna have a little picture, make a huge frame. Something's wrong, right? It has to be enhancing. It has to enhance the picture. Not and spices. Let's say you put in spices, it enhances the food. You don't put in half a container of paprika, something like that, paprika, right? You have to enhance. So it has to enhance I remember once when I was a kid, I went on, with Pirche, they went on a trip. On Pesach, went on a trip. And when he came back and we ate supper, whatever it was, and they gave it the matzah, I was like, wow, it's Pesach. I forgot that it was Pesach. I think I was 14 years old at the time. So I said something, it hit me that something's wrong. Like, it's supposed to be a Chol Hamoed trip. I forgot that it's Pesach. Lucky they serve matzah. Also. So that means that the picture frame is too big. It's not enhancing the Chag. So I think by Shabbos also, it has to be around the Shabbos. It's not that the Kiddush is so standing on its own that it doesn't need the Shabbos. It's not enhancing the Shabbos. It's too much. Everything has to be just an enhancement. So I think that will be the proportion. If somebody's Shabbos is very, very potent, so then maybe he can make a bigger Kiddush. But if the Kiddush is bigger than the Shabbos, then calm down. It's not for you. The esrog box is bigger than the esrog. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Rabbi,
Have a
thank
good
you.
week, everybody. Aslach and everything.
Amen.
Thank you. Bye bye.